Hey there, it's Michael with BlackBeltProject.com, and I've been working through getting my GTD system back into black belt shape and kind of walking you through the process as I go along here on how you might approach that for yourself as well. Lately, I have not really been too motivated to get a lot done, so I've kind of let my system get backed up a little bit, and no more so is that evident than in my email box. I went on vacation a few weeks ago, and I think my email box shows I've got 538 emails, a couple hundred spam, a bunch of action items, and a bunch of Yahoo reminders. And um, if you recall, what I've been doing, I started with getting everything kind of collected because that's just kind of an easy thing to do, and just to get some movement into my system and some clarity. One of the nice things about getting collection out of the way is you can really get rid of all the junk out of your system and whittle it down to just what actually needs to be done. And after that, then I went through and I've got my voicemail boxes to zero, I got my text messages to zero, and the idea here is that now that I'm to that level, and I've kind of created a little momentum that I don't, each day that goes by, that I make sure that I don't slide back and I just continue to get to at least that level. So right now, still everything's collected. Um, my voicemail is zero, text messages are zero. I still have my stack of paper to do. Now I choose not to work on paper first. Paper takes me a little bit more effort to work through. I consider it a little harder inbox to empty, and so I usually start with all of my electronic inboxes, and then that would lead me to get to my email account. And one of the reasons I do it that way is because anything that gets stuck in my email that for some reason I just can't do or process, I always have the option of printing that out and then just sticking it in my physical inbox just to get the satisfaction of getting my email completely to zero. Now, I've made a couple posts on this on a couple other websites, and I made a video. But as you know, the first thing I do is I make a list of the email accounts that I have. One thing I suggest you do is try and get all of your email into one account, and I use Yahoo Mail for that purpose. It's like 20 bucks to get an email account that you can have everything forwarded to and set up profiles. It really, since I've been using Yahoo Mail since prior, maybe around 2006, the beauty of using that is that I've got all of my email in an account archived for the last several years now. Everything's in there. Used to, I kept it in Outlook on my computer, and what would happen is occasionally my computer would crash. I'd lose all my email in my Outlook because I really wasn't in the habit of backing it up. By having my email up on, in the internet in an account like Yahoo, uh, everything is backed up for me, and also I don't have to have my computer to check my email and look for something I had in the past. If you had your email, you might be able to check it somewhere, but you might not have access to all the folders that are on your local hard drive. And by using a service like Yahoo, as inexpensive as it is, you can just have everything available anywhere you go, wherever you might be in the world. So that's why I do that. Now, a lot of times I think people forget too that they just don't have the regular email accounts anymore. There are these other kind of inboxes like Facebook and Twitter and YouTube, and I recommend that you add those to your list of email accounts, and you just incorporate that into your list of things to check. Um, I probably could have put a bunch more here on my sample checklist, but uh, I suggest too that a lot of those accounts you can set up an alert to send you an email when you have a message. Um, I know you can also do that with your bank accounts and your credit cards and anything that you have an account with. Check and see if they've got email. Check and see if you can get your statements on paper. Check and see if they've got alerts they can send you via email and text, and definitely do that. Um, what I did after that, then what I do, I like to make a checklist of all the steps I take when I check my email and my electronic accounts. And I've been doing this for quite some time, and I do the same thing every single time I open my email box. So anymore, I don't really have to think about what I do, because I already know in my head what to do, but I still have it on my checklist because I might forget to do something if I'm in a hurry. Or let's say I get interrupted, then I can always go back to my checklist and kind of start working on it again. So I won't go through every single step here, but I basically set myself up to have my email open, my calendar, and my next actions list open so that anything I want to process in my email, I can get on my list, I can get on my calendar, and so I usually don't um, miss anything by making sure that I get those items on there. Just like paper, I usually try and get rid of all the trash, all the spam, all the reference information, so that anything that's quick that I can get rid of, so that all I'm left with is just items that require action. And to take a little more than 2 minutes or so, then I'm going to throw them in what I have as an action folder. If you don't have one of those in your email account, I highly suggest you do it. Then as you go through your folders, end up with checking your action folder and getting that to 0. I also have my email synced with my BlackBerry, and even though I check it with my email and I usually process my email in my Yahoo account. I usually don't process from my BlackBerry, and there's always some loose ends kind of messages that don't get deleted, so I usually go in and clean that up along with the alerts. Below the post, I did a video on how I actually go through that process with a little bit more narration if you want to have a look at it. In the meantime, now I've got to get through these emails, so that's what I'm going to be working on, getting my email account to 0. And if you're working along with me, I hope that you're making progress. And keep in mind, just try and do better each day, and just try and keep things moving forward. And before you know it, your system's going to be back in good shape, and you're going to be getting things done like you're supposed to. Anyway, have a great day, and talk to you soon.